We're back with a brand new episode this week of our main show, From Idea to Impact. For this week's show, we're featuring Kaz McDougald, who is the founder of Lucid Career Coaching. Kaz, wave to the people, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hey, everybody. So I am, as you stated, the founder and leader of Lucid Career Coaching, where we're all about trying to help you find your ideal job, whether that be whatever you could really come up with. We've had different situations where people found that part-time is really their mode and that's how they want to operate. But some people feel most comfortable in the full-time job. But it's all about finding where. We want to figure out your why first, and then we figure out the steps to get you where you're looking to go. And that's really our mission, what really drives us forward at Lucid Career Coaching. We take the dream from the paper and then kind of put that into motion and help that become a reality for you.
So before we talk about present day and what you're doing with your career coaching business, would you like to share your inspiring story of how you got started, where you get the concept, the name? Give us the backstory of how you started Lucid Career Coaching.
Absolutely. So when I'm thinking back, I've always been somebody that's loved to try new things. During the pandemic, like everybody wanted to try something and learn something new, I actually opened up a podcast studio. So in that, I was able to really connect with people, figure out what they're really interested in, have them tell their story. And I found that that's really my main goal, is just to help people to be able to broadcast what they're interested in, what they love to do. Once the lights and the microphones turn on, people really are able to express themselves in a different way. And I really like being able to be that cog to help them facilitate. We went from the paper, this is what our podcast is going to look like. I want to talk about X. And then it really gets deeper when they see that there's growth in themselves. They started off in a situation where they're just nervous to talk, but then the light really turns on once they become comfortable and really be able to speak their message. We've had everybody from fitness enthusiasts start a podcast, really talk about their journey. One in particular that's had within maybe about a year, I'd known them, they had dropped about 100 pounds. So they really were motivating everybody that listened to their podcast that it is possible. Because I saw them one day, and then a year later, I see them again. They look like a whole different person. And now they're actually a fitness trainer. And it was all in the span of a year. So that was inspiring to me. And I know that everybody really has that story of change and transition. And it just takes somebody to kind of be that model for them, to let them know it's okay to dream and really go after their goal. So it started with the podcast studio, being able to help facilitate others. For me, starting that, I had taken a couple of production classes back years ago, but I really had to learn it from the ground up. So I had to learn how to use the mics, I had to learn the software, I had to figure out how to operate the cameras, the lighting, I had to get the studio space. So it was really just all part of the learning process. But for me, that was the best part. So I know that I was able to kind of pursue my dream there and then make it a reality. It all started from a notepad and pencil, and that was my lucid enlightenment period there. Just, you can kind of do whatever you want. Life is what you make it. So you really just got to figure out what that is, what your why is, and then really chase it down from there. And we really help you to get those steps and line them up in place so you can get exactly where you want to go.
So you mentioned before in your back history that this is an idea that came about with COVID when everyone was uncertain about whether they're going into the office, going outside the office. Were there any other things that would spark your idea that, let me think, career coaching might be the way to go?
Absolutely. So when it comes to just really helping people, there was a period where everybody's had growing up that ideal job. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a space engineer. It's just when we get into that period, when we hit really that teenage years, it feels unrealistic because we don't know where we need to go, what steps we need to take, what training we need. So we kind of just get either lost in the rat race or we just forget about the dream altogether. So I'm really trying to pull that back out of people. It's not too late for you to change. If you're into wine, let's figure out how, if you want to open up a winery, what are our steps? Who do we need to connect with? And what's it going to look like when we map out our plan to really get to that goal? So I really like those that have the that factor where it seems impossible, but then really turning the light bulb in. Because like, let's say when it came to podcasts, in particular, it really what sold people was not just your general information about, okay, go read a book. This is a book I recommend. It was the people that were into like rare Pokemon cards or
Mm.
rare Ninja Turtles from the 1980s. It's really those niche that really got people interested. And people got to know that with every lane and every interest, there's always going to be a way to make money off of it. So I really like to help those special cases to be able to get to their ideal dream job. But then also, some people really do have a dream of just being themselves. They love numbers. Okay, maybe accounting is the way to go. What classes do we need to take? What's really the training process and how do we get certified? And then we kind of go through the steps from there. But there's no dream too big. And if it's what you enjoy to do, you'll never work a day. That's our motto, that we kind of crafted from the Confucius quote. But that's really what speaks to what we're all about. You think it, you dream it, you can do it.
I think it's very important for with your focus of telling people or explaining to people or your just ideology of following your dreams because I think as you mentioned when we're younger 3 4 5 6 we believe anything is possible. We could do anything. We
Absolutely.
can go to the moon. We could do anything. And then as you said, as a teenage years set, we become we get hit with that realization that okay, maybe this is not attainable. And I think as we continue to go through with the different years, it's kind of like we move further and further from the dream. So I think it's very inspiring that you're actually getting people to hone back into their dream state because, like you said, during COVID, everybody had time to think. And I think with that time to think, it was, hey, what do I really want to be doing? So it's great to hear that your career coaching is getting people back on track and getting people back to being passionate about what they want to do. So I definitely commend you on that.
Absolutely. Passion is one of the things that's going to drive you forward. Because if you're not passionate, it's really just going to be repeating the same day. And that's what creates burnout. So we've even got a program to cut. If you are enjoying what you do, maybe you're just not in the right space, or maybe who you're working with isn't the right type of person that can kind of create that burnout too. So we have a whole list. We have a step by step. Let's figure out where your burnout is coming from. It's not always that you're in the wrong job. Sometimes it's the environment. Sometimes it's your coworker. Sometimes it's leadership. If anything in that list is out of whack, that's really what's going to lead to your burnout. Sometimes if you love the work, you're not in the wrong spot. It can be some outside factors. So we really go through that evaluation to figure out if you love what you're doing. Maybe it's just a place that we need to tweak so you can continue to enjoy what you do.
So, when starting this business, what are one or two challenges that you face? Because when everybody tries to make that shift or the career change or just coming up with the idea for a new business, at first it's all rainbows and sunshines. You get out there with your idea, and it's just like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the leader in this field. I'm going to do this, and then you hit the ground running, or you start crunching numbers, and then you face that difficult point of being an entrepreneur. So, what are one or two um, challenges that you've had so far with creating this company?
Let's see. So I would probably start with um, it's really not necessarily the challenge of starting, it's the continuation. Much like anything, you can always start, but it's just having the stamina to be able to run the race. So the biggest part would be barrier to entry. Once you go through the certification program, it's like where do you go from here? Now you have to find your clients, find out what they're interested in, and then really do your market research. So just with trends continually changing day to day, you have to always stay up because now there's different programs in place when people are submitting to different jobs through a resume. There's what's called the ATS. That's really going to be to put it in AI terms, that's what you're feeding your information to make sure you're a fit for the job. Most people don't know that's in place. So now you're looking at only about 3% of applicants actually end up getting to that interview period. And you only get 6%, 6 seconds for that recruiter to actually look at your resume and to see if you're a good fit. So now if you're looking at your 3% to actually get to the recruiter and your 6 seconds, you really don't have that much time to convince them that you're the ideal person. So you really got to stay up on your trends because things are always changing. They're actually now doing more recruiting directly through social media than they are on places like Indeed. The tide's turning. LinkedIn's really going to be the driving force for anybody looking for that job. And we really put on a great program when it comes to optimizing your profile for all of our creators out there. There's actually a creator mode. You
Mm.
might not have even heard of it on LinkedIn, where it actually flips your whole profile for LinkedIn. No more is it just your resume, break down your jobs. Now, let's say you want to pursue something new. We're going to flip your profile. We're going to have you connect with the companies that are in the industry, and we're going to have you engage with those posts. So what that's going to do is when the recruiter sees your profile, okay, I'm not going to see what you did in the past. I'm seeing what you're doing now. I'm seeing that you're knowledgeable. You know what company is actually working in the field. You know exactly what we're talking about in our trend. So I'm more likely to reach out to you because you seem knowledgeable. You're again adaptable because I'm seeing what you did before, but what you're doing now. So you're showing me some good hard skills and soft skills that are going to make you best to be selected for a job. So really just making sure your profile is set correctly can be something that's going to get you a step above everybody else that's in that path.
Oh, that's very interesting. You talked about it because never knew about that, about the creative mode. So, let's speak to the competitive industry that is career coaching. So, what
Absolutely.
is one or two strategies that you imply or you employ with your business that make you different or make you stand out? So, if we have people that are watching right now interested in your services, what is one, because I don't want you to give away all your secrets, your trade secrets, but what's one or two things that you do with your business that sets you apart from other career coaches in the industry?
So I would say just with me, so I'm really into the numbers of the thing because I play the numbers game.
Mm.
A lot of people, when it comes to kind of making that connection with that client, they're really trying to get them into the program and service them down the line so they can get completion. But I really want to make it so you're set up to be able to do it on your own because I want to be there for the first time. We walk through all the steps, all the pitfalls, but I want to set you up for success so you're able to, if you are transitioning, even from once we complete, you're able to do it on your own. You know exactly what to do. You know how to reach out to that recruiter. You know how to follow up properly and really stand out. So only 70% of people are at this point, they're just kind of completely omitting their cover letter as an example.
Mm.
Only 30% of people are actually doing one. So if we're looking at our numbers, that's 30% now. We did 3% are actually getting to the recruiter, and you're getting 6 seconds. So how are you gonna most stand out there? If you do the cover letter, you're already ahead of most people that didn't.
Mm.
So now I see you're coming in with the cover letter. Then we're going to actually give you what to put in your cover letter. We give you your connection story. It's not about what you did and why you love really what you do to get into that company. It's about your connection to the services, the passion for the product. You're going to talk about, all right, I love not only what you make, but how you do it. You're going to really connect to that piece. They want to know that you're knowledgeable about them. That really is going to help you stand out. And then we've got a process once you've actually gone through putting your cover letter and resume step by step on how you reach a recruiter and what's really going to make you shine. So we're all about setting you up for success so you can do it on your own after because we do specialize in career transition. We want you to try different things because that's what jobs are looking for: versatility, adaptability, and the ability to learn new things and put it into motion. No longer are they looking for the person that's been at the job for 20, 30 years. That's kind of out the window for how trends are going. They want to see that you've been able to jump into different industries, learn new skills because they know you're going to help them out with the things you've learned from different locations.
So, just what you mentioned just now. So, what is your suggestion? Because I've also heard that, just doing my readings, doing my research, just in different career things. So, as you said, most people or most employers are now, they're not looking for the 20-year hire. They're looking for a short term. So, what do you suggest? What would be a good round number that we can put for those that are watching, looking at career? Should you stay with your current job maybe 3 years and then look for something else? Should it be 5 years, 10 years? What are your suggestion? What do you
I
think?
say 3 to 4 years is really that sweet spot.
Okay.
Anything less than that, maybe 1 to 2, you might look a little more on the unreliable side because you'd be leaving. They want to know that you're able to come in, be impactful, and they understand that if they are in a growth industry, that as part of you coming in to contribute, you're always working towards your end goal. They like that ambition piece. So if you are in an, let's say, I'll give you an example. There's something called a functional resume. So if you
Okay.
have been at your job 10-year plus, you want to use this. This is going to convince the recruiter, okay, I haven't moved outside of the company, but I can show you that I've led this department. I chaired this board. I was able to go from maybe sales to customer service to moving over to outdoor sales. There is a way, even though you've worked with the company 10 plus years, to show that you're adaptable. you want to put down what's called the functional resume. That's really going to show that you've transitioned through different departments. You are able to learn, you're able to adapt, and you're creative in that space because you're going to have to learn new different operations on how things work and then also different areas of the business. So it's not a zero sum where if you work 10 plus, forget about it. There's
Okay,
different
gotcha.
ways to do it. But the best way for especially for the younger crowd, they're looking for your adaptability and ability to learn because the way things are changing and trending, we're talking about introduction of AI, we're looking at different ways to market, social media. These are things that are playing in the young person's game. So
Mhm.
it's going to help that you've worked in different fields and you're able to kind of navigate through the business, especially when you're working with smaller companies. You might have to wear a couple of different hats.
Oh. So speaking of AI, because you hit a great point that the great topic of discussion, it's all over social media. Some people fear it, some people embrace it. I'm one of the people that embrace it. So what are you doing or how are you using AI, implementing it in your business to help your clients reach their peak as far as looking for the career they're looking for? Because there's a lot of people that are scared and fear that AI is going to take their job. So how are you using that technology to enhance your client success?
So I'll address that in two ways.
Okay.
So can you just restate what the fear is of that last part?
So the fear a lot of people have that you could see it, it's in the news, it's in social media, it's all over the place. There are a lot of people that fear AI, where I would say
Why
maybe
is
there's a
that?
10-year, 20-year person, they're just like, AI is gonna come take my job. I don't
Take
know
your
what to
job.
do.
Exactly. So
That's it.
that's the exact key. You're
Yeah.
looking for it to take your job. If you see yourself as a business, nobody could take your job.
Say
You
that
always
again.
want to be set up for if let me run it back.
Say
If
that
you
one
see
more
yourself
time.
as the business, you're just you're essentially going to be working with them as a vendor type program. You're going to look at it as a partnership. That takes the fear out of it.
Mhm.
Because if I'm just working with you as a partner, I'm here to make money for me, gain the knowledge from me, so I'm able to move on to do whatever I want to do from there. There's no fear. People walk into the interview so scared that they're going to get turned down, but they really need you more than you need them. They're
That's true.
spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in the recruiting to try to put out LinkedIn posts, Indeed. They're doing different market researches. How can I get the right person? They need you. The recruiters make money when you are added onto their board. When you stay your 90 days, your 60 days, your 120 days, that's how they're making money. So you have to go in confident knowing that they need you. You're
Mhm.
here to show up because you've got the skills and be confident in what you've done before. You were selected for a reason. Bring back the stat again. 6 seconds is what you're getting with the recruiter. So if you're getting to see them twice, you mean something and you stood out. So you should be confident in that. 3% get through the ATS, the automated system for your resume. So just right there, you've already kicked out a whole bunch of competition. They're getting 200 applications a day on average. So if you're getting through, again, looking at the numbers, you are a shining star from that pile. So you got to go in with confidence. They need you, and you're a vendor or a partner with them. Never see yourself walking into that role because things change. We talk about burnout, but we also talk about maybe your priorities change. You have to be able to be adaptable and ready to transition, which is definitely something we strongly emphasize is career transition. What you love today isn't what you're going to love tomorrow. You might see a podcast or a YouTube. Maybe you love to build websites because you saw a video on it. You heard a
Mhm.
great interview on Nothing But Web on his
Yeah,
story, starting the platform. You never
that's
know.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
And that's what it's all about. What we love to do today may change from what we do tomorrow. So we want to always have that forward and be ready to transition. But the fear comes from the unknown. But if we're ready and we know that we're just a partner, we're going to be here for 3 to 5 or 10 if you want to be there. And then we move on to something new. Unless it's, if that's your why, then continue to use that as passion to push you forward. But just figure out what that is first and you never be scared because there's always going to be another opportunity out there.
I think it's a great perspective you put it because most people they get excited about getting the job or just getting the
Right.
interview. But I think people never take the time to realize that you may be one of 500, 200 applicants and you may have whittled down to the last 10. So just
Mhm.
being in that box alone, I think just having a confidence like you're expressing will be definitely makes you stand out as a candidate. So that's great advice from you. So another piece of advice. So as a successful career coach so far, There's
Mhm.
probably aspiring people that want to get into the field or people that's also looking to get into coaching or consulting. So what's one piece of advice or one tip that you have when they're trying to start their own business?
You have to really be eager to learn and eager to help. So if we can, because I know you did ask a two-part earlier about the
Mhm.
AI. AI is really helpful when it comes to trends. So I'll really punch in. So what are people looking like? What are the top career choices that people are looking at? What are the
Mhm.
different ways that the businesses are trying to find recruits? And then I build from there because I like to do maybe like weekly or monthly updates just on the different trends that are changing in not only our industry but any other industry, just so I'm staying up to date, because you might find that person that really finds their passion is in law enforcement. So what are some of the training skills that we need to get up to date from there? That's
Mhm.
really how we're implementing AI. So when it comes to those that are looking to get into this particular role, um, really once you complete, because I did the certification program, became certified in the role, just me continuing to learn every day and then sharing, listening to different people's story, but then also sharing how you can turn your vision, that really that thing that keeps you up at night, wakes you up at 4 a.m., your passion, how to turn that into a career that you love. Or if you are looking to go the entrepreneur route, what are the steps you can continue to learn and follow your path to enlightenment through the Lucid program?
Oh. So one thing I definitely could see in you is your passion, which is this is probably the best thing or the best feeling you have every day waking up and experiencing helping people.
Absolutely.
Can you think of one, now I know we're up against the time, but can you think of one success story that you have of your client that you like to share?
Yes. So one great experience I had was with one of my clients. This particular client really is into wine, loves wine, and then they had a business that they were actually working part time with. So right now we were in a phase of looking to transition to what can be an ideal role. So I took down, we figured out what the passions are, what the skill and the talent. We kind of use those as our gauge and barometer. Once I first do our first interview, we figure out what are your skills, what's your talent, and then what's your passion. And then we find out what your mission is and we create a mission statement. From there, that really outlines what we're looking to do. So their passion was education. That was one thing that stood out. Just helping people to learn that there's many different ways to use and the different background and how wine is really affected and how it has a key piece in society. We went through all that information. We figured out, all right, education is your piece. You love to teach. You've done a podcast for your part-time business.
Mhm.
All right, boom. So technology is a thing. Marketing. You're having to connect and reach different clients. So I was able to take all that information. I found a remote job part time in wine, sending emails and marketing. So that really addressed the education piece, them being able to tell the story of wine, and then also being able to work from home on a part time basis. So if you add your part time to your part time you're already doing, you've got full time coverage right there, and you're doing exactly what you do
Hmm.
on the side anyway, educating
Like that.
people on wine, telling them about it, introducing a lot of, because they're really big on trying to introduce younger generation to wine and really the sophistication behind it in the history. So if you're doing that on a daily, we just found a way for you to turn that part time into a full time. But then you're still your boss, you're your own business, but then you're also vending your services out to that larger company to get paid an additional revenue into your company at that time. So you can continue to grow, make new connections. You never know who you meet working in that space.
That's true. Well, because I mean, it sounds like you put everything into that one client, and not only is that client able to keep their what they're doing now, but they're also bracing themselves for their transition into becoming their own brand as you preach with your particular business. So
Absolutely.
that's a great story, a great story. Hopefully, one day I can probably get that person on his as well. So our last question. So beyond financial success, because everyone wants to get into business, you should get into business to make money. Here at this particular show, we're about impact. So where do you see or what do you aspire with your business or what are your goals to make an impact beyond just your area in the world with your business?
I just want to lead the trend of it's okay to dream again.
Okay.
Your dream job isn't something that you just need to dream about. Once we write it down, it's now a plan. We took our goal and now we've got a roadmap. So we really want to take that scratch note that you make, put it in your phone. All right, I really love doing hair, and we want to stretch that out. Who do you like working with? What are the time you like to work? And then we really kind of flesh that out until we have something whole. Maybe there is a salon around the corner from you that's been looking for that hair braider. That's when your passion is really getting into that industry, and they need you. But you just got to be ready to put yourself out there and be ready. We can work on your optimization of your resume. We put the cover letter together, but until you take that step on your roadmap, you're never going to move forward. And again, just to restate our motto, it's coming from Confucius: if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So we want to make sure we find your why and then really figure out your mission behind it. And we really craft a good mission statement that you put it on your mirror, put it above your bed. Make sure it's the first thing you see when you wake up, the last thing you see before you go to bed, just to continue to keep that fire lit as you kind of go forward and pursue your dreams and goals. Because like we talked about, the endurance of the pursuit is really where a lot of people fail off. We want to make sure that we keep igniting that fire each day to keep chasing down our goal.
Oh. So before we wrap, what we like to do on this show, from idea to impact. Right now, we probably have someone out there that's struggling with the idea or has the idea. So, what's one piece of advice you give that person with that idea to just start tomorrow?
I would say yes, just start tomorrow. So I want to first just take the time to tell yourself it's okay to dream. Just that's the biggest thing. It's okay. The fear is the false evidence appearing real.
Mm,
So we really take upon our, like, we have a whole program together, but week 3 is really about addressing why we haven't pursued our dream yet. We
mm,
know what we want to do, and most people know what their passions are. So we really try to go over, okay, why haven't we taken the step? What's our barrier to entry? Do you think that it's gonna, you might fail? That's a possibility, but we will also talk reality. Most people never really try, so that's really where the failure comes from. We, our failures are just lessons that we are yet to learn, so we really got to take that step, and then we can transition. We have a period of just reflection each week. We have our homework that we do just to continue to look back. All right, this is where we started, this is where we are now, and just pat yourself on the back. You started. That's a goal accomplished in
yeah,
itself.
it's a big one.
So just continue as we go week to week, as we finish our homework, as we learn, continue to pat ourselves on the back. We're moving. That's in one step more than we had yesterday, and we're that much closer to our goal. And know that you have a partner in me. As you go through it, we bounce ideas off each other.
Mhm.
We go through all the fear and really break it down, because most of it's unrealistic and it's something that really can't happen, but we always have to dream it up as this is the worst thing in the world, but it's really never that. It's never as bad as we see it. We just have to talk about it. We look at our numbers. Okay, you say this amount of people never get selected. Well, let's look at this. We say
Mm.
people where I'm from never are successful. All right, let's look at the numbers. You got this person, this person. We just find different ways to dispel the fear. So then we get that confidence, because again, looking at it, they need us more than we need them. We got to keep that confidence in our head. And we're the real asset. Companies don't make money without people, and people really are what keep the lights on. So we
That's a
got to
fact.
keep that in mind. We're the
So,
asset.
so Kaz, any last words? Thank you. This, you're sharing your story with us. Was very inspirational. I love always hearing how my different entrepreneurs I bring on, where they started, because it's always important to discuss where you started, because a lot of people may not realize that they may have the same origin story as you. And sometimes it
Absolutely.
may just take hearing that one story or just seeing someone in action to get them motivated or inspired to start their own entrepreneurial journey. So would you like to say anything before we wrap and tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, well, I can be found. I can be emailed, lucidcareercoaching at gmail.com. Also on all social platforms, Lucid Career Coaching. We can be found there. Just the main theme of today is just be ready for transition. Know that your dreams are really what's going to push you forward. Once you got your mission and your plan written out, let's get ready to work. Tell your story, and always know that it's okay to dream bigger than what you are at the moment. Just create that list, work on your goals, and continue to pursue whatever it is your dream is. Stay enlightened.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it live from Kaz. This has been another great episode from Idea to Impact. Tune in each and every Wednesday for a new episode that we have Each episode, I'm bringing on a different entrepreneur, and they will walk you through the journey of success, let you know where they got the idea from and what's their goal in the future to continue to make an impact in the world we live in today. Everybody have a great night, and this has been From Idea to Impact.